welcome to my anime recap. Like and subscribe for more. This is the story of Toto, an E-rank adventurer who is physically imposing and strong, but extremely shy and small down under. He dreams of becoming a hero who defeats the demon lord, and he wishes to travel with a party of friends. Life has other plans for him though. Without realizing it, he soon ends up surrounded by 3 attractive girls, each wanting to kill him for different reasons. However, his brute strength keeps him safe from every one of their attempts. It all starts far away in the demon realm, when the demon lord calls his daughter Ciel Zebul for a very special task. He gives her the challenge of hunting and killing a chosen hero to prove her worth as an adult. That hero is Toto. Ciel receives the details of her target and rushes off, thinking it is just a light assignment. She believes she can handle the hero with ease and also explore the human world for fun. Meanwhile, in the human lands, a cold-hearted assassin named Anemone accepts a new mission. She is told to eliminate a hero, but this time, the job has an unusual twist. She must disguise herself as a priest to approach the target. At first, she refuses and insults the idea, but when she gets to know that the payment is 1,000,000 gold coins, she changes her mind instantly. There is another sadistic woman named Goa who enjoys breaking strong men into obedient pets, and her twisted desires leave her bored because no one excites her anymore. Then her subordinate informs her about a man who might resist her methods. That man turns out to be Toto, the same unlucky target already being chased by the others. Toto lives a lonely life. People avoid him because his muscular body and anxious face give him a scary appearance. Even though he tries to talk to people and make friends, they run away before he can say anything. His dream of forming a party remains distant, and his emotional damage grows heavier with each rejection. But everything changes when these 3 stunning girls approach him in the guild and express interest in joining his party. Ciel, Anemone, and Goa stand together, all pretending to be friendly. Tension quickly builds between the girls, especially Ciel and Anemone, who hate each other at first sight. Goa, however, finds excitement in chaos and welcomes both. The people at the guild stare in disbelief. Toto, a shy loner, suddenly receives attention from 3 attractive women. Toto prepares to say yes. He doesn't care about the details. After years of being alone, even a strange situation like this feels like a blessing. And despite warnings from others to avoid Toto, the girls stick to their decision. Goa dramatically clings to his arm, causing Toto to faint instantly. Everyone explains that Toto has extreme shyness around women. Ciel takes this opportunity and lifts him using magic, then flies away with him, smashing through the roof. The others follow her without hesitation. Their pursuit becomes chaotic. Anemone attacks Ciel using explosives, but Ciel blocks the blast with a barrier. The 3 gather in a forest clearing. Goa quietly releases a poison with a perfume that can cause paralysis. At the same time, Ciel begins a summoning spell in secret to call forth a monster to handle her rivals. Before the fight even begins, Goa calls for a ceasefire. Anemone and Ciel agree to talk, but it is a trap. Goa's perfume paralyzes both. She proudly shows off her creation, but Ciel warns her that her summoning was interrupted and now her summoned beast will be out of control. A magic circle appears on the ground, and a terrifying dark dragon with 8 legs emerges. Goa runs, but Ciel and Anemone grab her, demanding the antidote. Their argument gives the dragon time to attack. But just before the beast reaches them, Toto wakes up and ends the threat with a single punch, blowing the creature's head off. The girls watch in shock. None of them expected such strength from someone who can barely form a sentence. They approach to thank him, but when they touch him, Toto faints once again. The girls consider whether to kill him now, but Ciel refuses. She believes Toto deserves their respect after saving them. Anemone and Goa agree. To lighten the mood, Goa suggests getting desserts in the city. Ciel loves sweets and agrees quickly. Anemone goes along, still unsure about their relationship. Goa hides her true intentions, planning to strike later. Back in the city, they sit together and introduce themselves. Ciel claims to be a mage, Anemone acts like a priest, and Goa pretends to be a cheerful dancer. Toto tries to sound cool but ends up mumbling with a promise to protect them all. Goa hugs him on purpose, knocking him out once again so the girls can speak freely. Now that Toto is unconscious, the girls drop their masks. They talk about their real reasons for being there. Goa proposes teaming up to take down the hero. Anemone pretends to quit, blaming low payment and tough competition. However, her plan involves using a sniper rifle to take out Toto from afar. Before she can act, Anemone notices a young girl being sold as a slave, and her mission takes a back seat. She saves the girl, gives her money, and tells her to escape. The slave trader turns into a headless monster and threatens her, but Anemone charges in. Her speed and strength overpower him at first, but the monster regenerates and traps her with his tentacles. Things look dangerous. The monster hides within a thick layer of tentacles for protection, but Todo arrives and destroys him with one punch. Anemone feels something stir in her heart. She sees her knife and remembers why she came, but a flashback of Toto saving her stops her. She lets her blade shatter instead of stabbing him. She makes an excuse and claims she is tired. Goa quickly books one room for all 4 of them. Toto faints again, just imagining what might happen. Anemone and CL leave, not ready for a foursome yet. Goa stays behind with the unconscious Toto. She injects him with a chemical designed to turn him into her obedient pet, but nothing changes. She dances to seduce him, but he remains asleep. Growing frustrated, Goa reveals her full dominatrix form and whips him. Still, Toto doesn't break. Finally, she tries a powerful control command, but instead of obeying, Toto pins her to the bed. The sudden switch in control excites Goa. Before anything serious happens, Toto regains his senses. Realizing the situation, he faints again, blood gushing from his nose. Later, the girls gather again, and they bond over sweets and weird experiences. The morning sun rises on a chaotic party. Goa stretches, fully refreshed, unaware of the judgmental stares from CL and Anemone. Both girls can't believe someone like her could sleep so soundly in a situation filled with tension. Goa shrugs it off, pointing at the real sleepyhead in the room, Toto, still unconscious. Anemone checks on him and finds that he is not sleeping normally. The hero has passed out again, most likely because he saw all 3 girls sleeping without a care. A heavy nosebleed confirms it. Suddenly, the girls remember their true mission and draw their weapons. Each one prepares to strike, but before anything can happen, Toto stirs awake. The 3 of them quickly hide their blades and switch to smiles. They greet him warmly, but his brain short-circuits once again from the overwhelming closeness. He drops unconscious before saying a word. After he recovers, the group prepares for their first official adventure together. Toto feels nervous. He doubts whether he can handle 3 girls around him all the time. Still, he reminds himself that he promised to protect them. That thought gives him strength to move forward. Anemone asks about their destination, but Goa suggests visiting the Adventurers Guild first. They need to register as a proper party. Inside the guild, the receptionist gives them a form and asks them to list their names and assign a leader. Goa immediately declares that Toto is the party leader. Toto freezes for a moment. He never imagined himself leading anything, but despite his shock, he accepts the role. The receptionist processes their request. Toto bangs his head on the table in a dramatic gesture of gratitude. This intense response causes a nosebleed again, and the girls rush to wipe the blood from his face. They gently scold him, asking him not to be so extreme all the time. Toto apologizes and wonders if he is even fit to lead a group. Soon, their party becomes officially registered. Toto receives the license and holds it like a treasure. Goa cheers him up by explaining that this is only the beginning. She mentions guild cards and explains the ranking system, which ranges from E rank all the way up to S rank. Everyone starts from E rank and needs to complete many quests to move up. CL asks how long it would take to reach the highest rank. Goa tells her that adventuring is not like a quick game. It usually takes years to rise, even a single tier. CL becomes frustrated by this reality. Meanwhile, Anemone looks at the bulletin board for available missions. Toto follows her. CL quickly grabs Toto's arm. The hero collapses again from the sudden touch. Anemone and Goa recognize this moment as another private discussion attempt. They ask CL what she really wants. CL questions the purpose of leveling up. She reminds them that their main goal is to kill Toto, not to become proper adventurers. Both Goa and Anemone agree. Once again, the 3 girls face a standoff. Finally, Anemone comes up with a plan. Each girl gets 1 day to try and kill Toto, and the others must not interfere. CL agrees under the condition that the others keep their promise. Goa gives her word too. To settle who goes first, they play rock, paper, scissors. CL wins the game. Toto wakes up again, finding her sitting close by. He senses the pressure building. He tries to act cool, but his words fail him. Still, he asks about Anemone and Goa. CL replies that they left to find a quest. She explains that she stayed behind to look after him, but now that he is awake, she no longer needs to. Silence grows between them. Then CL asks why he wants to go on an adventure. She wants to know if it is for fame or fortune. Toto becomes serious. He tells her that he just wants to gain confidence, enough to feel normal. He explains that the scar on his face and his weak communication make him feel like an outcast, but defeating the demon lord might give him the strength to face others without fear. CL listens quietly as his words resonate with her. She once felt the same, hoping to earn her place In the demon world, by completing her mission, she smiles and says they can grow stronger together. Toto feels grateful, but in her heart, Ciel still plans to kill him before the Demon King falls. Toto apologizes again for being such a burden. Ciel reminds him that he already saved her from a dragon. That counts as doing his job well, but the praise overwhelms him. He faints yet again. Anemone and Goa return shortly with a new quest. Before handing it over, they tease Ciel about catching feelings for the hero. Ciel tells them off and demands the quest details. Goa reveals that the task involves entering a cave, the perfect place for an ambush. Ciel makes the girls promise again not to interfere. Both agree, though Anemone hints that Ciel might fail because of growing attachment. A fight nearly breaks out again, but Goa stops it. Soon, the group reaches the cave, which houses a basic E-rank dungeon. Toto feels uneasy about going into such a quiet place with the girls. Ciel tells him to relax. Their job is only to collect iron ore. He walks ahead nervously, leading the way. Goa asks Ciel what kind of plan she has this time. Anemone guesses that another monster might appear. Ciel assures them that she first wants to observe Toto's true strength. A group of slimes drops from the ceiling. Toto defeats them easily using only punches. Ciel notices something. He never uses any weapons or magic, just brute force. She thinks this is his weakness. A monster that can resist physical attacks would be the perfect match. She explains that slimes have resistance against physical damage. While Toto took care of small ones, a larger version might be his downfall. Anemone asks where to find such a beast. Ciel says she will create it. She fuses the remaining slime bodies into a massive emperor slime. Toto senses no danger at first, but rushes in when he sees the large creature. He punches it hard, but the attack has no effect. The slime absorbs the blow and grabs his arm, trapping him. Ciel keeps up the act, warning him of the slime's threat. Toto nods and changes his tactic. He picks up the slime and spins it before smashing it into a wall. This only causes the goo to spread and trap him completely. Stuck against the wall, Toto watches the Emperor Slime move in for the kill. Ciel feels certain of her success, but Toto surprises everyone. He shouts with such force that his scream blows the slime to pieces. The cave echoes with silence after the explosion. Ciel loses all hope. Her second plan has failed too. Goa comforts her and says they should just finish the quest. They mine deeper into the cave. Anemone finds some iron ore. She needs a tool, but Toto steps up and tells her to move. Using only his fists, he smashes the wall and pulls out a pile of ore. The girls watch in disbelief. They return to the city with a huge bag of iron. The blacksmith who gave them the quest praises their haul. He says this task usually tests rookie parties, and Toto may have broken the record. He sees great potential in the shy hero. Back at the inn, the girls ask how Toto became this strong. He replies that he works out a lot, which shocks them. Suddenly, another adventurer walks in. He mocks Toto for doing better than him and tries to steal the girls. But the girls glare at him, and the man runs off in fear. Goa tells Toto not to let such people bother him. Toto still doubts himself. He remembers how he struggled with the slime. He believes that if the girls hadn't chosen him, he would still be a lonely nobody. He clenches his fist and swears to become stronger. One day, he will protect them all and defeat the Demon King. The group travels to a nearby town, smaller than the one they visited before. Toto and Ciel talk about how different it looks, but Goa and Anemone are focused on their real goal, getting another chance to kill the hero. They settle it through a quick game of rock, paper, scissors, and Goa ends up winning. Toto, clueless as ever, simply believes the three girls are becoming close friends. With her turn secured, Goa takes Toto out alone. The entire town seems to stop and stare at her beauty, which clearly distracts the local men. Toto, on the other hand, wonders where the other girls are. Goa casually tells him they had other plans, then playfully flirts, asking if he dislikes being alone with her. Toto feels overwhelmed, but somehow manages to stay conscious. Goa invites him to grab something to eat, and Toto starts overthinking, wondering if this counts as a date. He quickly convinces himself that he's only there as a bodyguard and decides to act reliable. But when Goa grabs his arm and calls it a date, his brain overloads again. From a distance, Ciel and Anemone observe. They already know Goa is not trying to kill the hero, so they relax and explore the town, planning to taste as much food as possible together. At the bar, Goa secretly spikes Toto's drink. She eagerly watches, waiting for the effects to show, but instead of collapsing, Toto just gives her a strange smile. In his mind, he's trying to flirt, but on the outside, nothing happens. Goa grows frustrated. She moves on to lacing a meat skewer with a paranoia-inducing drug. Still, no reaction from Toto. Next comes a sandwich that should make anyone sleep for a week, but Toto still stays calm, calling it tasty. Goa sulks after realizing none of her tricks work. Her drugs, her seductive charm, nothing seems to affect the hero. Just then, Toto returns with tea. Goa decides to ask him directly if he loves her. Toto panics again but does not faint. Instead, he asks her what she means. Goa then uses her skill, commanding him to become her loyal dog. Toto looks shaken but resists. He says he cannot be her dog because he needs to protect her, along with Seal and Anemone. Goa feels a wave of emotions crash over her. She pretends to be hurt by his refusal, but what he says moves her deeply. She tears up and begs him not to hate her. Toto quickly bites his own hand to stay conscious and explains that protecting the girls is his only goal in life right now. Goa wipes her tears, realizing how serious he is, and thanks him. But Toto finally reaches his limit and collapses. He wakes up later to find a bandage on his injured hand with a flower tied around it. Goa smiles and says it is her way of saying thanks. She asks him to keep it a secret, and the wink she gives is too much for Toto. He faints again. Eventually, the two return and meet Ciel and Anemone. Ciel talks about a famous cake shop and insists they go there before the sweets are sold out. Toto follows her, and in the meantime, Anemone questions Goa about her failure. Goa admits that she failed, but also mentions that she enjoyed herself. She then rushes up to Toto and says they need to book an in-room to share. Toto instantly faints again, and both Anemone and Ciel start to suspect that Goa is getting way too close to him. Later, the girls are alone, and Anemone insists that it is her turn next. Ciel wants to decide it through the usual game, but Anemone refuses, saying that she still hasn't had a single try. Goa supports her and agrees with the new order. Anemone confidently states that she will definitely kill Toto. Neither of the other girls takes her seriously, and they leave her to handle it on her own. The next morning, Ciel and Goa go sightseeing, while Anemone takes Toto on a herb gathering quest into the forest. Toto wonders why the others didn't join them. Anemone explains that they overate and now have stomach problems. She says that the herbs they are going to collect can help with that. Toto promises to work hard and finish the quest quickly. The mood between them becomes awkward. Turns out, Anemone is just as bad as Toto at small talk. Back in town, Goa and Ciel enjoy some ice cream. Goa hopes the drugs in the dessert will work, but Ciel reveals that she used magic to protect herself from any negative effects. Goa tries to mock her, claiming that her skills can't be blocked so easily, but a group of bandits interrupts them. The leader, Zark, claims to be a former B-rank adventurer and now leads the gang. He tries to scare the girls, but they act like he doesn't exist. Zark attacks Ciel, but her magic barrier blocks it easily. She calmly warns him not to mess with her. Though shaken, Zark attacks again, this time aiming for the table. Ciel and Goa back away, and then Ciel decides to defeat him. Goa asks her not to kill the man because he likely has a bounty. Ciel takes Zark down effortlessly. Meanwhile, Goa uses her skills to tame the rest of the gang and turn them into her loyal pets. Back in the forest, Anemone feels like smoking, but her priest disguise prevents her. Toto tries to break the silence by asking about her hobbies. She accidentally says money and alcohol before calling it a joke. Then she asks about his hobbies. Toto freezes, unsure how to say that lifting weights is his whole life. Anemone shifts the conversation and asks about the scar on his face. Toto stops walking and shares his story. He lost everything: his home, his family, and his confidence during a monster attack. Anemone asks if he seeks revenge, but Toto says no. He only wants the confidence to live like a normal person again. They finally reach the spot to gather herbs. Toto starts collecting them, while Anemone reflects on his story. She doesn't feel sympathy because she never had anything to lose. She decides not to hesitate and suddenly whispers into his ear. Toto falls unconscious. She then uses her skill to create a level-based bomb that grows stronger depending on the target's strength. The bomb begins to swell in size on Toto's chest. Back in town, the restaurant staff thanks Ciel and Goa. They offer them dinner as a reward, but Ciel reminds Goa not to let Toto find out about their powers. Goa agrees and uses a special perfume to erase everyone's memory. In the forest, the bomb on Toto grows so large that even Anemone realizes she can't escape its blast. She cuts it off and wakes him up. She tells him to throw it far away, and he does so immediately. The bomb explodes, destroying half a mountain. When the dust settles, Anemone sees that Toto shielded her from the blast without suffering any injuries. The sight overwhelms her. She realizes that if she had let the bomb keep growing, the explosion would have been even bigger, and she would have died. She then drops her facade and thanks Toto with her true feelings showing. Toto, once again, faints from emotional damage. Toto and the girls continue to take on missions, and their latest task is to defeat a group of goblins. Just as always, Toto leads from the front, throwing punches without fear. Anemone supports him with her skills, Goa weakens the goblins using her potions, and Ciel wipes out the rest with a strong magic blast. Their teamwork helps them clear the mission with ease. Back at the guild, the receptionist informs them that their party now qualifies for the D rank promotion exam. Except for Goa, no one in the group knows what that even means. Goa patiently explains that to get promoted, they must pass a test, which will allow them to take on harder and more rewarding missions. The receptionist then gives them their test. They must conquer a dungeon and bring back proof from the deepest floor. She adds that their bond as a party will be tested. Everyone begins to panic inside. They soon reach the dungeon. A guard explains that Toto must lead the team to the bottom and return with evidence. Anemone tries to ask how deep the dungeon is, but the guard refuses to give any details. Goa stays confident and reminds the others that they share a close bond, so this task should be easy. The three girls then put on an emotional act to impress the guard, pretending to be best friends, but the moment Toto enters the dungeon, their expressions change to wicked smirks. The day before, the girls had met in secret to plan how to kill Toto during the test. Anemone had no interest in helping clear the dungeon, as she didn't care about D rank. But Goa convinced them that ranking up would give them new opportunities to ambush the hero. The three of them agreed to a temporary ceasefire and planned to work together, or so it seemed. Secretly, each girl planned to break the truce and strike Toto at the first chance. Back in the present, the group finds a strange door with a copper face on it. Beside it is a plaque with instructions. Goa reads it out loud, since she is the only one who can read. She tells the others that the door needs mana and stamina to open. This means a mage must give mana first, and then a warrior gives stamina. Ciel quickly offers her mana, placing her hand into the mouth of the creepy face. Toto follows and gives his stamina. The door opens, but Toto feels drained. He worries that Ciel lost too much energy, but she secretly modified the spell to steal more stamina from him instead. She thinks it's the perfect time to kill him, but before she can act, Anemone uses basic healing magic on Toto. Ciel nearly explodes in frustration, but Goa reminds her of their ceasefire. If one of them tries to break it, the others have the right to interfere. They move on and reach a fiery room. Anemone throws a bomb to increase the flames, but Ciel quickly uses wind magic to put them out. The next trial involves a fog-filled chamber that blocks their sight. Goa uses a special perfume that causes hallucinations and confusion, hoping to make the others attack each other, but it has no effect. Ciel calmly states that her magic shields her from negative effects. Anemone also reveals that she has grown immune to toxins due to repeated exposure. Goa feels annoyed, but says nothing when Toto returns after finding the exit. The group arrives at a chamber with 3 doors. Each door leads to a different trial. Anemone picks the door to the treasure room, hoping for riches. Ciel calls her a gold digger and chooses the door to glory. Goa invites them both to the pleasure room, saying they could enjoy themselves. They all tell Toto to pick a door, but he feels overwhelmed by the sudden conflict. A few moments ago, the girls were acting like close friends, but now they seem ready to tear each other apart. Instead of choosing a door, Toto punches the ground, creating a large hole. The entire party falls through, landing safely on thick tree roots. The girls are confused. Toto explains that the fastest way to the next floor is straight down. An old martial artist appears before them. He introduces himself as Bele the Burly and says he will be their examiner. He tells them that the real test is to land even one hit on him. He then makes a disgusting remark about the girls, which angers all of them. Before they can respond, Toto steps forward, asking to fight alone. He feels like he hasn't contributed enough. Bele laughs at his courage and calls him a fool. He then kicks Toto with full strength. Toto blocks it and counterattacks. Bele dodges the punch, surprised by the power behind it. He pushes Toto further with more attacks, but the hero holds his ground. Bele feels impressed and excited. The girls admire his speed. Goa suddenly comes up with a plan and whispers it to the other two. They act supportive and say they want to help Toto by casting buffs. But instead of boosting Toto, they buff Bele, hoping he will crush the hero. Bele becomes stronger than ever and charges toward Toto, aiming to end the fight, but he lets his guard down while attacking. Toto lands a powerful punch and knocks him out. The girls are disappointed again. Their plan has failed. Just then, Ciel senses someone watching them, but the figure disappears before she can see clearly. The party returns to the surface. The guard congratulates Toto and gives him a certificate of promotion. The girls pretend that their teamwork led to success, but Toto remembers how they were fighting earlier. He mentions it and they quickly lie, blaming a fake spell in the dungeon. Toto believes them and thanks them for trusting him. They all head back, and the moment Toto turns away, the girls stop pretending. Toto's stomach rumbles from hunger, and Goa suggests celebrating their promotion with food and drinks. At the inn, the party begins. Anemone becomes drunk and clings to Ciel, calling her a little sister. Ciel struggles to keep her temper in check. Goa flirts with Toto, but he is already unconscious from drinking too much. Ciel notices it first and wants to end the party. She refuses alcohol, but Goa gives her a sweet cocktail. A short while later, Ciel is also completely drunk, climbing on Toto's shoulders and calling Anemone her big sister. Goa stays the most sober. She pulls out a syringe and threatens to fight, but quickly changes her mind. She admits she's enjoying the party too much to ruin it. The girls begin talking about how they never had real friends before. They laugh, bicker, and bond for the first time. Eventually they sober up and wake Toto. Everyone prepares to leave. That night, as they sleep, Ciel remains awake. She senses the stalker again. She calmly calls out, and a mysterious figure appears at the window. It is Happy, a member of the Demon King's elite guard. Happy the Harpy greets Ciel at her window and notes that it has been a long time since they last met. Ciel disagrees with the statement, but Happy insists that a month is a sufficiently long period. Happy then reveals she has been monitoring her progress, which makes Ciel anxious. Happy calls her act cute and informs her that everyone back at the Demon Lord's castle missed her. Ciel tells her to get straight to the point. Happy states her purpose is to take Ciel home for more training if she is incapable of assassinating the hero. This makes Ciel look concerned. Happy asks if the training was truly that terrible, causing Ciel to remember her difficult childhood under Happy, the chief educator. Back then, other demons constantly mocked and scorned her during her gruesome training sessions. Ciel remains silent and grips her nightgown tightly. Seeing this, Happy gives her an ultimatum. She must fulfill her mission the next day or return to the castle. Happy says she will be watching before flying off into the night. Alone, Ciel reassures herself that she has merely been holding back to enjoy her freedom and that she has a surefire plan to succeed. The next morning, the party gathers at the inn. Anemone, suffering from an extreme hangover, appears in a highly revealing outfit. The sight immediately causes Toto to pass out. Goa scolds Anemone for her choice of clothing, but Anemone retorts by calling out Goa's hypocrisy as the seductive queen. They continue arguing until they notice Ciel's unusually silent. They ask her what is wrong. Ciel breaks the news to them that they remain enemies despite the previous night's fun, and she will eliminate them along with the hero if necessary. The other girls do not flinch at her declaration and simply tell her to give it her best shot. Toto regains consciousness, and Goa informs him that their new D-rank status allows them to travel to new places for adventures. She announces that she and Anemone will go shopping for supplies, while he must go alone with Ciel to clear a D-rank dungeon. Goa then winks at Ciel, indicating she is giving her a chance to eliminate the hero, and whispers that they are friends despite being rivals. Later, Ciel takes Toto to a forest cave, informing him their mission is to exterminate death rats. And as they venture deeper, a rat charges at Ciel, but Toto quickly knocks it out. He tells her it is his job to protect her. Flustered, she leads him further in, noting his near invulnerability from past observations. She baits him into a physical trap, but he stops it easily and apologizes for his carelessness. Seeing physical traps are useless, Ciel guides him to a magical totem that acts as a key. She explains how it works, but secretly increases the stamina consumption rate to 90%. The earnest Toto touches the totem to activate the door and loses a massive amount of energy. The door opens, but Ciel notices Happy watching from the shadows. To prove her resolve, she calls Toto, and just as he looks at her, she flashes her panties, causing him to pass out instantly. Ciel steals her will to assassinate him. While casting her spell, she recalls the scorn and mockery she endured from other demons during her training days. She uses that ridicule as her inspiration and summons a huge magical scythe and swings it at the unconscious Toto. To her surprise, it cuts into his chest and strips off his armor. She prepares for another strike, but ends up killing a death rat that had crept close to him. Toto wakes up moments later. Ciel lies, informing him she killed the rat that attacked him, and she proceeds to heal his wound. She notes this is the second time she failed to kill him and wonders what is wrong with her. Suddenly, Toto attacks another death rat near her. She misunderstands, thinking he is aware of her earlier attempt. They see they are surrounded and prepare to fight back to back. Before the battle, Toto reassures her that everything will be fine and he will protect her no matter what. His words give her butterflies, and they begin their fight together. Later, they return to the inn. Anemone and Goa are shocked at seeing Toto injured. Toto commends Ciel for treating him, but Goa hurriedly takes over nursing his wounds. Anemone quietly confirms with Ciel that she inflicted the wound. Goa asks Anemone for help healing Toto, but Anemone lies that she is incapable and privately asks Ciel for permission to use this opportunity to kill him. Ciel refuses, claiming it is still her turn, and Anemone agrees. While the others chat with Toto, Ciel wonders why she feels so comfortable with them. That night, Happy tells Ciel she witnessed everything, including how she helped Toto instead of finishing him. Happy calls it an act of treason. To Happy's surprise, Ciel agrees to be punished and taken back to the castle. She admits she wavered and believes the harsh training will restore her resolve. Happy then shocks her by informing her she is free to continue with her party. Happy reveals her real mission was to confirm if Ciel was fit for independent action. Despite her failure, Ciel's incantation speed and dark magic potency were deemed sufficient. Happy adds that Ciel seems much more full of life now and encourages her to continue with her friends, stating emotional development is a vital element of gaining independence. Happy commends her and before leaving, says she knows Ciel is in love with Toto. Ciel denies it fiercely. While Happy flies off, she remembers how cold and resentful Ciel used to be about her bloodline and is glad to see the positive change. The next morning, Anemone appears in another dazzling nightgown, and Toto passes out at the sight. Goa praises her, confessing she took her shopping to work on her seduction skills. They begin to quarrel, but this time, Ciel interjects. The girls turn to her, noting she seems to be feeling better, and reveal they knew she felt down the previous day. Ciel asks what they mean, and Goa explains that Toto was very worried about her but was too shy to ask, so he asked them instead. Goa tells Ciel to let them know if she ever needs to talk about anything, because they are rivals and friends. Anemone scoffs at the idea of being called friends but admits she does not want to see Ciel depressed. Toto regains consciousness, and Goa tells him Ciel is fine. The party asks him what their next goal is. Goa suggests they start exploring and will be camping out. The thought of spending the night with the beautiful ladies causes Toto's head to steam, but he fights the urge to pass out. Goa commends him for his restraint, but then finishes him by pressing against him. Watching them, Ciel wonders how she ended up with such a defective party. But when Goa asks if she is looking forward to their exploration, Ciel affirms that she is. A few days later, Goa organizes an expedition for the party to leave their current city. Their destination is the town of Ani. The idea of a genuine adventure excites Ciel greatly, as she has always wanted to explore the world. Anemone, however, questions the need to travel. Goa informs the group that she accepted a well-paying quest to secure and transport some heavy goods during their journey. Other adventurers refuse the job due to the weight, but Toto carries the massive package effortlessly, impressing the girls. Unbeknownst to them, a bandit lurks in the woods, keeping close tabs on their progress. The party begins their journey and Ciel warns Toto not to pass out, stating she does not want to deal with carrying him. Before she can finish her sentence, a gust of wind lifts her skirt and the sight knocks Toto out cold. An annoyed Ciel is forced to carry him for the rest of the day. Toto regains consciousness the next morning and apologizes for passing out, though Ciel partly blames herself for the incident. Meanwhile, Anemone desperately wants to smoke but feels she must act like a good girl around Toto. She tries to resist the urge for hours until she nearly loses her mind. She finally forces her juicy mangoes on Toto, causing him to pass out again. That evening, he apologizes once more, but Goa brushes it off, saying everything is fine. He joins them for dinner and everyone soon goes to bed except for Goa, who takes the first night watch. During her watch, she notices the bandit from the previous day. The man demands they surrender the package and threatens to sell the entire party to a merchant with strange tastes. Goa just laughs and lets him try to take the package. The moment he touches it, he becomes weak. Goa reveals she laced the package with a powerful hallucinogen. The bandit realizes he is in serious trouble. The next morning, Toto wakes up disappointed for sleeping through his watch shift. Goa assures him everything is fine and lies when he asks if anything happened. He does not know that she used a love charm on the unlucky bandit all night. The party resumes their journey but is forced to take a break when Toto gets hungry. Goa, tired from her night watch, appoints Ciel to join Toto on a fishing trip to get food for everyone. Ciel acts dismissive but secretly likes the idea. She soon regrets it, as they cannot catch anything for a long time. Toto suggests jumping into the river to catch something by hand. Ciel offers to give him a magical boost, secretly planning to push him deep so he cannot resurface. To her shock, Toto swims back up with a giant monster fish. Ciel argues that she cannot eat that. Upon a closer look, she sees the fish is behaving strangely on land. Before she can react, the fish spits on both of them and jumps back into the river. Ciel laughs at the entire situation and finds herself actually enjoying jumping into the river with Toto to catch more fish. They are successful, and Goa spices and roasts their catch that evening. Everyone enjoys the meal. Ciel hesitates to eat with her hands and remembers her royal upbringing, but after a moment's thought, she decides to ignore royalty and digs into the delicious food with her hands. The following day, the party finally arrives in the town of Ani. Toto joins Goa to deliver the package. Before leaving, Goa tells Anemone and Ciel to go clothes shopping, as the town is famous for its stylish outfits. Anemone looks forward to it, but the moment Toto leaves, she ducks into a restaurant for a smoke. This makes Ciel wonder if Anemone has any lungs left. Meanwhile, Goa and Toto deliver the package. The dealer is very happy, but complains that it is often hard to get deliveries from the previous town. Toto wonders why that is. Back at the restaurant, Ciel asks Anemone why she hasn't tried to kill Toto yet. She reminds her that it is her turn. Anemone replies that she is just watching him for now. Ciel offers to take her place and do it for her. Anemone teases Ciel about this, pointing out that she is the one who has been enjoying his company recently. This makes Ciel angry. She says she is only testing new ideas. Anemone continues to tease her, saying it sounds like she wants the adventure with Toto to continue. Annoyed, Ciel walks away quickly. Anemone laughs and tells her to test those new ideas when they go shopping with Toto later. That afternoon, Anemone convinces Toto to go shopping with her. She wants him to help pick her clothes, because he usually faints when she wears cute outfits. They go to a store. Toto chooses one dress for her, but Anemone does not like his choice. Instead, she tries on a sleek black dress. It doesn't show much skin, but it makes her look like a beautiful assassin. She smiles at Toto, and he immediately faints. When he wakes up, she models a bunny outfit, but she isn't happy with that one either. Then Goa decides it is her turn. She says she will cover up her chest more. She puts on a tight spandex outfit. Toto takes one look at her and faints again. The girls try on many more outfits. Finally, Anemone wears a formal, English-style dress that looks very nice and proper. Even in this conservative outfit, Toto still faints. The girls give up and change back into their normal clothes. Toto is left feeling very overwhelmed. He promises them that he will try harder to see their fruits without fainting in the future. The following day, they arrive at the next city, thinking it is the fortress city of Defori. A guard greets them and informs them it is actually the city of love. This revelation leaves the entire party completely shocked. Anemone had previously mentioned that this was the fortress city of Defori, famous for its blacksmiths and weapons, but the guard's insistence that it is now a city of love, and it allows only couples in love to enter, confusing everyone. Ciel immediately proposes bypassing the town entirely, an idea Anemone strongly supports. However, Goa finds the strange situation interesting, and Toto is also curious. He makes the decision to pretend to be in a relationship with Goa to get inside. Upon entering, the environment is nothing like Goa expected. The streets are filled with affectionate couples, and the whole town appears obsessed with romance. Their situation becomes serious when they witness a lone traveler being arrested for failing to show public displays of affection. As new faces, Toto and Goa are quickly noticed by the guards, who demand proof of their love to avoid jail. To convince the guards, Goa presses her juicy melons against Toto. He bites his own lip hard to fight the urge to faint on the spot. The act works, and the guards leave them alone. Goa suggests they investigate the Adventurers Guild to understand the situation better. They do not notice a young boy named Tim watching them from a distance. At the guild, they find that every adventurer and even the receptionist are all couples in love. The receptionist reveals the town no longer needs supplies from neighboring towns because the people believe they already have all they need: peace and love. Goa finds everything deeply weird and considers the possibility that the entire town is hypnotized. Toto feels the same, but wonders who would do such a thing. Goa theorizes a monster might be behind it, so Toto suggests they begin an investigation. The boy, Tim, finally approaches them and leads them to his hideout to talk privately. He is one of the few normal people left. He begs them to save the town, explaining that everything changed when a new minister took over the castle. Those who remained normal were captured and his own parents were taken away. He weeps as he tells his story. Moved by his plea, Toto pats him on the head and offers to save his family. Goa agrees to help as well. They leave to regroup with Ciel and Anemone outside the town. After hearing the story, only Anemone shows interest in interfering. Ciel wants no part in it, seeing no benefit for herself. Anemone says she is doing it for her own pride. Ciel suggests splitting the party into two groups, with one infiltrating the castle. Anemone agrees but proposes a game of rock, paper, scissors, insisting the loser must go with Toto. She loses and finds herself paired with him. She then plays the part of a loving wife to get past the guards. Ciel laughs at her lovey-dovey act, thinking she is free from it, but Goa informs her that they are going in too. Ciel is forced to play the part of a loving stepsister obsessed with scissors to enter the town. Once inside, she swears to burn the place to the ground, but Goa tells her to keep that as a last resort. Anemone confirms the whole town is hypnotized, but assures Toto they will not fall under the spell if they do not spend too much time there. This is a lie, and the only reason she is not affected is her developed resistance to Goa's chemicals. Toto tells her not to hesitate to attack him if he loses himself, and she agrees immediately, even offering to dispose of him if necessary. Seeing the shock on his face, she dismisses her comment as a joke. Some townspeople then try to coerce them into sharing a drink, which they fear is hypnotizing. They decline, drawing negative attention. Toto resists fainting and acts like Anemone is his newlywed wife to make the people back off. It works temporarily, but they are found again and forced to keep up their couple act for hours to avoid suspicion. They finally arrive at the castle and are surprised when the guards let them in easily. Meanwhile, Tim seems worried about Toto, but Goa assures him he will be fine. Ciel uses an enchanted sphere to get a bird's eye view of the town, but finds she cannot see past the castle. She explains to Goa that a massive amount of magic is concentrated there, meaning the hypnotic effect is strongest inside. Toto and Anemone find the castle seemingly empty. Suddenly, Anemone falls under the influence of the hypnotic spell and begins to see Toto differently. She expresses a desire for him to fill her with his love. Toto realizes she is hypnotized and tries to talk her back to her senses, but this only angers her and she decides to beat him into falling in love with her. Their fight draws the attention of guards who surround them and prohibit fighting on castle grounds. A guard becomes suspicious of Toto. The guard does not believe Toto is truly in love and moves to arrest him. Seeing an opportunity, Toto lets himself be captured. This gives him a way to get into the dungeon. Once he is locked in a cell, Toto finds other travelers who are also in prison. He also discovers Tim's parents are there. They feel great relief when Toto tells them their son, Tim, is safe. Toto promises everyone he will save the town. Another prisoner laughs at this promise. He points out that Toto is also locked up and cannot help anyone. But then, right in front of everyone, Toto easily breaks the metal chains on his hands and feet. The prisoners see this amazing strength and feel hope for the first time. Meanwhile, Toto does not know what is happening elsewhere. Anemone is now with the minister. She has told him that Goa and Ciel are also inside the town. Back in the old house they are using as a hideout, Goa is getting annoyed. She is frustrated because Ciel cannot use her magic to see what is happening inside the castle. Secretly, Ciel does not care about saving anyone. She would be fine if everyone stayed hypnotized. Suddenly, Goa sees a small flash of light in the distance. She tells Ciel to look. Ciel focuses her eyes and sees what it is. She realizes Anemone has a sniper rifle aimed right at them. Anemone is ready to shoot. Anemone launches a powerful blast towards Ciel and Goa. Ciel blocks the strike with a magical barrier. Goa thinks Anemone might be controlled by something, but Ciel, who isn't very concerned, says she might be faking it. Angry about being attacked, Ciel releases a huge wave of magical power. In reply, Anemone holds out her hand and invites the girls to come at her. Ciel then summons many magical monsters in the sky. Anemone shoots them all down with perfect aim. Ciel quickly gets to the castle and runs at Anemone to attack, but Anemone dodges. Ciel asks if she is hypnotized. Anemone says no and bravely announces that she really loves the hero. Hearing Anemone say these things out loud makes Ciel sure she is hypnotized. Anemone would never normally say that. Ciel feels sorry about fighting Anemone like this, but she still makes magical swords and throws them at her. Anemone answers by firing a rocket. The huge explosion shakes the whole castle. Far below, in the dungeon, Toto and the other prisoners feel the strong shake. He right away guesses that Anemone caused the explosion. Back outside, the fight continues until the minister interrupts them. Ciel seizes the chance and stabs him with a knife, hoping killing the source will snap Anemone out of the illusion. It does not work. Anemone pins Ciel to the ground, and the dead minister morphs into the form of Uria Myos, a fiend who knows Ciel. Realizing Uria infiltrated the humans and put them under hypnosis, Ciel warns her to stop or risk starting a war between demons and her race. Uria replies that she never liked the Demon King anyway. She asks Ciel how it is her fault since Ciel willingly walked into her territory, despite knowing it was a trap. Uria then switches places with Anemone and begins draining Ciel's mana. At that exact moment, the crystal seal gave Goa to track her well-being shatters. Goa recalls Ciel leaving things up to her and provoking her by claiming she was a better hypnotist than the suspect they had in mind. Clutching the broken crystal, Goa becomes furious, yelling that she is the only one who gets to have her way with her friends. She hands Tim a pouch containing smoke bombs, paralysis drugs, and healing potions and tells him to hold the fort while she is gone. Tim asks if she is heading to the castle, and she confirms, saying she intends to rescue her friends. Meanwhile, Toto sneaks out of the dungeon with the group of prisoners. He takes them to a safe room and tells them to stay put while he goes to save the town. Toto climbs the castle, facing more guards the higher he goes. He finally reaches the 3rd floor and enters the reception hall, sensing a powerful aura. Opening the door, he sees both Anemone and Ciel, now hypnotized, waiting for him. They beckon him to join them. Toto spots Yuria and asks if she is behind the hypnosis. Annoyed by his simplicity, she confirms it and says she will humor him. Toto asks where the real minister is, and Yuria reveals it was her all along. Toto braces himself, worried about fighting Yuria without harming his friends. Yuria shocks him by revealing she always had the power to hypnotize everyone and just kept the rest in the dungeons as hostages. She intensifies her hypnosis, causing Toto to lose control of his limbs. Stunned, he watches as Yuria orders his friends to seduce him. Toto struggles to stay focused as their juicy mangoes press against him. Right then, Goa shows up and declares it is her turn. She boldly claims that the hero belongs to her, irritating both Ciel and Anemone. They argue with Goa while she glares at Yuria and confirms she is the one behind the town's hypnosis. Goa mocks Yuria's skills, saying she is terrible at it, which angers Yuria enough to send the girls to attack. But just as they rush in, Goa activates her own hypnosis, forcing the girls to kneel before her. Shocked, Yuria wonders how Goa managed such a feat against a fiend. Goa tells Toto she can only hold the girls at bay, so he must defeat Yuria now. Despite being stunned, Toto summons his willpower to resist hypnosis. Yuria fires a powerful attack at him, but when the smoke clears, Toto is unharmed. Furious, she unleashes more magic, but nothing affects him. Enraged, she transforms into a wild beast and lunges. Finally, Toto breaks free of her hypnosis with sheer determination and lands a punch, declaring he promised to save everyone. The blow tears a hole through the beast, and the hypnosis finally wears off everyone. While the others escape the room, Goa sees Yuria trapped under the beast and finishes her off, scoffing that she is not fun enough to be her pet. After the battle, the group leaves the castle. The townspeople are happy to be free from hypnosis. Outside, the boy Tim finds his parents. Anemone quickly says she remembers nothing from when she was hypnotized. Ciel agrees with her, saying she also remembers nothing. Goa plays a trick on Ciel. She tells Ciel that she called Toto her husband. Ciel immediately says that is not true. She says she only said that Toto belongs to her. This shows she actually remembers everything. Goa then teases Anemone too. She turns red, wishing the ground would swallow her, and says she did not mean what she said. The town leader comes to thank Toto for saving everyone. He invites the party to a celebration feast that night. At the feast, Toto asks Goa where they should go next. He points to a town on the map. He suggests a fishing village or another town. Everyone agrees with the plan. Later that night, they walk back to the inn. Ciel continues to tease Anemone. Toto thanks Goa for saving them. He says it looked like she replaced Yuria's hypnosis with her own. Goa is surprised Toto is noticing her powers. She asks if he saw her whip. He says yes, and asks if that is her special skill. He then says Anemone is very fast. He also says Ciel found her own way to the castle. He asks them what their special skills are. They do not answer him. Instead, they press their large breasts against him. This makes him pass out. After he faints, the girls ask Goa to give him some medicine. They want her to make him forget what he just asked. The group arrives at Angelrun Beach. Ciel feels very excited about going fishing. Goa reminds everyone that they need to visit the guild hall in a new town to check for quests. They go to the guild hall and ask about available quests. A man there informs them that there are no quests, but he mentions an annual wrestling event happening soon where they can participate. Anemone asks about the prize and is disappointed to hear it is only a towel. Later, they relax by the seaside. Goa suggests they enjoy the beach and reveals she has brought swimsuits for everyone. They change and call Toto, who faints the moment he sees them. Goa persuades Ciel to go swimming instead of fishing. Goa and Ciel head into the water while Anemone wonders if the two have forgotten about their plan to kill Toto. Suddenly, Goa splashes water at Anemone and she ends up joining them in the water. Meanwhile, Fresnir, a B-rank hero, arrives at the guild hall. He also finds no quests and sees the wrestling poster but deems it unfair for him to enter. On his way back, he hears Goa's voice, sees her, and instantly falls in love. He rushes over, praises her beauty, and immediately invites her to join his party. Just then, Toto wakes up and asks who Fresnir is. Fresnir asks Toto about his party rank. Toto replies that he is low rank, causing Fresnir to burst out laughing. Fresnir declares himself a B-rank hero and says Goa deserves someone of his level. He challenges Toto to a duel, but Goa intervenes. She suggests they settle it in the wrestling tournament, with the winner claiming her. Toto doubts his ability, but resolves to try. Suddenly, Anemone announces that she and CL will also join the tournament. She pulls CL aside and explains their plan. They will distract Toto with their beauty, win against him, and then intentionally lose to Fresnir. This will make Goa leave, making it easier to kill Toto. CL reluctantly agrees. Anemone then taunts Goa, saying she will lose and be forced to leave the party, but Goa only gets more excited to see who is truly worthy of her. Later, the organizer announces that the winner will not only receive a towel, but also the chance to travel with Goa. The crowd erupts in excitement, and Goa cheers them on, making them even more motivated. The rules are explained. Competitors must push their opponent into the water or knock out their watermelon. Magic, skills, and weapons are forbidden. CL and Anemone immediately regret joining, fearing they might reveal their powers. The matchups are announced. The first match is Toto versus Samika, a 10-time arm wrestling champion. Semaise vows not to let an outsider win, but Toto casually smacks him out of the ring. Fresnir dismisses this, thinking Samika was weak. The second match is Anemone versus Gautier, the fastest man in town. Gautier mocks her, but she trips him with her foot as he dashes forward, sending him flying out of the ring. The next match is Fresnir versus CL. Fresnir says he will be cautious against a woman. He praises her cuteness, and CL proudly agrees. Secretly, she plans to lose. Fresnir attacks, but CL dodges easily. He claims he was holding back and then puts down his watermelon to get serious, moving at incredible speed. Yet she avoids him again and starts floating with magic. She is disqualified for using magic. Toto praises her for lasting so long, making her nervous. She admits she used a little strength magic, and Anemone internally scolds her for forgetting the rules. The semi-final begins with Toto versus Anemone. Toto tells her he does not want to fight and asks her to withdraw. Smiling, Anemone clings tightly to him, assuming he will faint, but Toto resists. He thinks of Fresnir's brutal attacks and decides he cannot let Anemone fight him. Shocked by his determination, Anemone dodges his strikes, but changes tactics, deciding to target his watermelon instead. She places her watermelon down as bait, then kisses Toto, causing him to drop his watermelon. It shatters, and she wins. CL is stunned by the kiss. Anemone smugly tells Goa she is as good as out of the party, but Goa laughs and says only the true winner is worthy. The finals begin with Anemone versus Fresnir. Fresnir vows to go full power from the start, and as soon as the fight begins, he launches a flurry of attacks, but Anemone dodges them all, wondering how someone like him could be B rank. While distracted, her outfit tears slightly, and Fresnir stares eagerly. Furious, Anemone lands a powerful punch to his face, sending him flying. She wins. Toto cheers while CL looks shocked. Goa clings to Anemone, teasing that they were meant for each other. Anemone suspects Goa did something when she touched her, but Goa plays dumb. Soaked and defeated, Fresnir emerges from the water and demands a duel with Toto, claiming he may have lost to Anemone but is stronger than Toto. Goa urges CL to do something, so CL summons a monster and pretends to be scared. Fresnir bravely tells everyone to retreat and attacks the monster, but his strike does not even scratch it. Then Toto steps in and defeats the monster with a single blow. Fresnir immediately admits defeat and begs for forgiveness. He quickly changes his tone and asks Toto to take him as his student and allow him to join the party. Later they are at a feast, which Fresnir explains was given by villagers as thanks for saving them from monsters. Goa begins teasing Anemone for staring at Toto, asking if she cannot stop thinking about the kiss. Suddenly, the armored man who had accompanied Fresnir asks CL if she is the daughter of the Demon Lord. CL asks who he is, and the man removes his helmet, revealing there is no one inside. CL is shocked to see a Dullahan and demands to know why a monster is traveling with a hero. Toto immediately stands up to shield CL. Fresnir calmly tells him to relax, introducing his companion as Koshta. Although Koshta is a Dullahan, Fresnir assures everyone that he is loyal. Anemone questions how a hero and a monster could be best friends, but Fresnir explains that Koshta poses no threat. Shield discreetly signals Koshta not to reveal her true identity, and he quietly agrees. Goa turns to him, asking about his past. Koshta explains that he was considered worthless at birth and abandoned under a bridge. He says his people are born in armor and destined to wear it for life, but unlike the strong warriors of his kind, he was too weak even to ride a horse. He barely managed to survive. He recalls meeting Fresnir, who was just a child at the time. When Koshta asked why a human would help a monster, Fresnir replied that he would help anyone, no matter who they were. Touched by those words, Koshta swore loyalty to him and decided to stay by his side forever. A flashback shows Fresnir walking proudly through the streets, holding Koshta's hand as people stared in judgment. Despite the cruel looks, Fresnir refused to let go. Goa praises Fresnir's kindness, but Koshta bluntly mentions that Fresnir's habit of recruiting anyone he likes sometimes makes him seem arrogant. Even so, Koshta admits Fresnir has a heart of gold and that their bond transcends the line between human and monster. Goa then guesses that Fresnir avoids taking quests that involve killing monsters to protect Koshta's kind. Fresnir smiles and confirms it. He leaves monster hunts to others, preferring only the kind of adventures he can share with Koshta. Fresnir then turns to Toto, asking about his goal. Toto, caught off guard, blurts out that he wants to defeat the Demon Lord, then immediately regrets saying it in front of Koshta. But Koshta stays calm and tells him it does not matter. When Fresnir asks about the secret behind Toto's strength, Toto answers simply, weightlifting. Fresnir is completely stunned, realizing that pure training alone built such power. During this exchange, Ciel's normally cold expression softens as she listens to Koshta's story, moved by his loyalty. Eventually, both groups prepare to part ways. Fresnir suggests that traveling together would make the journey more fun, but Goa and Anemone politely decline, saying 4 companions are enough. Fresnir wishes them luck and leaves with a smile. On the road, he asks Koshta why he revealed his identity so easily. Koshta replies that he felt Toto's group could be trusted. Later, Toto's team passes through a quiet forest. Suddenly, a monkey-like monster appears and attacks. Toto instinctively raises his weapon, but Koshta's words about humans and monsters echo in his mind. He hesitates, takes a hit, and staggers back. Struggling between instinct and compassion, he finally throws a rock, scaring the creature away instead of killing it. That night by the campfire, Toto sits silently, lost in thought. His mind drifts to a haunting memory of a burning town. He remembers running through the flames, falling, and the blinding moment when a dragon's fire swallowed him whole. Snapping back to the present, he stares into the fire. The girls notice his distant expression. Goa remarks that he seems elsewhere, while Anemone quietly guesses he is shaken after seeing a human and a monster stand together like friends. Goa asks Ciel what she thinks. Ciel says she wonders if such a bond could truly exist. Her thoughts briefly drift to the Demon Lord assigning her current mission, and Happy teasing her about her growing feelings for Toto. Ciel moves closer and sits beside Toto. She softly asks if he is still thinking about Fresnir. Toto admits that he always believed monsters were evil and that a hero's duty was to kill them. Now, he is not so sure. Ciel warns him not to get too attached to monsters, or he might hesitate when the time comes. Then, almost abruptly, she asks if he likes her. Caught off guard, Toto stammers that he does not know but thinks of all of them as important. Ciel presses further, asking what if she were a monster, an assassin, and Goa, a psychopath who brainwashed people, would he still feel the same? Toto thinks for a moment, then replies that they saved him, and that fact would never change. He adds that maybe finding a way for humans and monsters to coexist is the true purpose of his journey. Ciel smiles faintly. She brushes off her question as an example and wishes him good night. But as she walks away, her heart is uneasy. She wonders which will come first, Toto discovering coexistence or her fulfilling her mission to kill him. Inside the tent, Goa and Anemone burst into quiet laughter, teasing Ciel by mimicking her question about whether Toto likes her. Outside, Toto smiles softly, happy to hear them getting along. Goa, however, warns Ciel that joking about their true identities is dangerous. Ciel dismisses it, pretending not to care. Anemone keeps teasing, saying she never expected their serious mission to turn romantic. Goa grows quiet. She remembers the time she once asked Toto if he liked her, and he said she meant more to him than his own life. The memory hurts. Lying awake, Goa bitterly reflects that if Toto ever had to choose, he would always pick Ciel over her, and Anemone over her too. She convinces herself that no one could ever love her for who she really is, only for her skills and the drugs she carries. The next morning, Anemone thanks Toto for keeping watch overnight. Ciel greets him shyly, blushing when Anemone teases her. She insists it is just the sunlight. Goa soon greets him too. Toto asks if she is alright, and although she nods with a small smile, her heart still feels heavy and uncertain. After a long walk, the group arrives in Decide, the bustling adventurers' town. Ciel excitedly reminds them to visit the guild hall first, proudly saying she is learning from them. Toto praises her progress, but Goa's smile fades into something distant. When Anemone asks what is wrong, Goa brushes it off and instead compliments Anemone's sharpness before teasing her back. At the guild hall, the receptionist congratulates them for their achievements. Their team is now eligible for a C-rank promotion quest. Anemone guesses their heroic deeds in the previous town must have spread. Goa turns to Toto asking if they should accept the new quest. Toto thinks about it and agrees, believing that advancing in rank might bring him closer to understanding coexistence. Goa, however, suggests resting for the day before taking it. She rents a motel room with one large bed. The sight makes Toto faint. Goa chuckles and tells him to take the sofa or the floor. As Ciel pulls out a deck of cards and suggests they play, Goa's expression changes. Her tone turns cold as she asks whose turn it is to kill Toto. The mood freezes. Ciel calmly says she has not kept track since the fishing trip. Anemone mutters that Goa would probably act during the trial anyway. Goa ends the conversation with a chilling line, saying they will see what happens tonight. Everyone goes to sleep. Toto lies peacefully on the sofa. The room grows quiet, then darker. In the stillness, Goa opens her eyes. When dawn breaks, Anemone wakes first. She sees Toto sitting motionless on the floor. Thinking he is tired, she gently reaches out to touch him, but his body collapses forward. A knife gleams in his chest, and he is dead. She looks at his lifeless body, wondering who could have done it. Before she can think further, two men knock on the door and walk inside. They are the same men who once assigned her the mission to kill Toto. They congratulate her for completing the job, smiling as if this was a celebration. Anemone shakes her head and denies their words, but one of the men calmly points to the knife lodged in Toto's chest. It belongs to her. He suggests she might have killed Toto in her sleep without remembering. Confusion and dread mix inside her as she turns to Ciel and Goa for support, but both are gone. The men glance around the room and ask if she had accomplices. Then they hand her a bag filled with payment for a successful kill. Anemone walks away in a daze, unsure what to believe, and her steps lead her to a quiet bar. She orders drink after drink, feeling her body loosen with each sip. She lights a cigarette and exhales slowly. The smoke feels like freedom. Free from her disguise as a priest, she feels liberated, finally able to drink, smoke, and speak without restraint. For a moment, it feels like life is her own again. She laughs softly, turning to invite Ciel and Goa to join her, but no one is there. The bartender asks if she has had enough. She tosses him a coin and stands to leave. When he asks what she will do with the money, she smiles faintly and says she will fulfill her dream. Elsewhere, Ciel walks through the towering gates of the Demon Lord's castle. The grand hall bursts into applause as she enters. The Demon Lord greets her warmly, congratulating her on completing the mission and declaring her his successor. Ciel smiles and bows, but inside, unease stirs and her mind feels foggy. A flashback shows her waking up late that morning, apologizing for oversleeping, only to find everyone gone. Then she heard noise outside and rushed out to see Toto, lying lifeless. A man nearby claimed a monster had attacked and killed him instantly. Later, as she wandered through a dark alley in shock, Hoppy appeared, grinning. She congratulated her on finishing the mission. Ciel insisted she remembered nothing, but Hoppy reassured her, saying she saw everything herself. According to her, she had summoned a monster that killed Toto in one strike. That night, at a royal banquet, Hoppy crowns her Princess Ciel. The hall overflows with demons celebrating her victory. She laughs, dazzled by the feast. Those who once resented her now bow, admitting they were jealous of her strength. The chief cook proudly presents her favorite dish, grilled fish. When asked why she likes it, she pauses, unable to remember. A faint flash of memory passes through her mind, but fades before she can grasp it. On the other hand, Anemone spends her days at an orphanage. Children surround her, laughing as she plays with them. Helpers whisper that she built the orphanage with her own hands after defeating human traffickers. When she suddenly slips out of her cheerful act, she apologizes, claiming fatigue from a long trip. The word trip feels strange in her mouth, stirring something deep inside her that she cannot name. Days pass. Ciel plays cards with demons at the castle and wins effortlessly. They cheer her skill, and she smiles, casually mentioning that she played cards during her journey. That word journey triggers a spark of memory, faint but real. Across the land, Anemone hears a child ask if she is alright. Smiling, she assures her she is fine and decides forgotten memories cannot be important. Yet when the same child invites her to play cards, Anemone hesitates. She is sure she has never played before, but the thought will not leave her. That night, Ciel lies in bed. The grand castle, the crown, the applause, everything she ever wanted surrounds her. Still, she feels empty. She wonders why she feels something missing even after achieving her dream. Elsewhere, Todo opens his eyes. He wakes up cheerful, urging the others to get ready for the trial. Ciel, Goa, and Anemone greet him with smiles. They walk through the bright town together, the people showering them with praise. At the guild, their quest is to capture a wyvern. Todo defeats it easily and returns a hero. Everything seems perfect. Todo thinks life feels like a dream, because it is. In reality, Goa watches their bodies lying still. In reality, it turns out Goa has drugged them all to keep them trapped in happy dreams while erasing their memories until there is nothing left. She recalls her past, a young girl about to be sold into slavery, begging child Goa for help. Goa had used her power to control the traffickers, forcing them to release the girl. But instead of gratitude, the girl recoiled in terror, calling her a monster, and when child Goa reached out, the girl screamed and ran away. Left alone, child Goa fell to her knees, weeping. That same, childlike version of Goa appears inside Anemone's dream. She stands among the children, looking lost. Anemone asks which class she belongs to, but the girl repeats that their journey is not finished. The helpers hurry to chase her away, calling her strange, but her words echo in Anemone's mind. Anemone approaches her, and the girl softly reminds her that staying here with the children is what she wanted. Anemone agrees, but her head aches. Something feels wrong. The child Goa then appears in Ciel's dream castle. Guards move to remove her, but Ciel stops them, saying she is just a child who should be sent home. The girl looks up and says Ciel's journey is not over. Ciel freezes. Something about those words hurts. Happy appears beside her, insisting the girl is lying. When the child says Ciel has not played enough cards, the words pierce her like a blade. Ciel reaches her, but Happy restrains her, whispering that she is queen now, with everything she ever wanted. Meanwhile, Todo carries the child Goa in his arms, refusing to let her go. Anemone demands to know who she is, and Todo says he only wants to help her. Ciel and Anemone protest, calling the girl a stranger, maybe even an enemy, but the child yells at them to be quiet, calling them assassins. They laugh it off, but her tears shake them. She tells Todo this is just a dream, that he is still a D-rank adventurer who faints when speaking to girls. Todo denies it, but then two strangers appear, pretending to be the girl's parents, calling her Nami. The child screams her name is not Nami and that they are distractions. When Todo reaches to comfort her, she bites his hand, reminding him of a promise. The pain jolts his buried memories. On the other hand, Anemone too starts remembering the name only one person used for her. Ciel also recalls traveling with someone who could manipulate minds. Slowly, everything returns. They remember Goa. Anemone realizes that this world is not real. She decides she must escape. The dream tempts her with false warmth, but she resists, believing Goa is in danger. Just then, the orphanage helpers transform into spirits to stop her, and she draws her weapon and fights. Ciel too breaks free, fighting Happy and the demons who try to keep her asleep. She declares she will not accept an illusion, and she will create her dream and reality with her own strength. At the same time, Todo confronts the false parents. He declares that the child is the real Goa. Soon, spirits surround them, but he lifts the child Goa up and promises to return. So in their dreams, Todo, Anemone, and Ciel simultaneously work to protect the child version of Goa. Anemone asks why the child exists if Goa trapped them. The girl smiles faintly and says perhaps Goa's heart created her as their only way out. Meanwhile, in the real world, Goa is waiting beside their still bodies, tears in her eyes, whispering for them to wake up soon. Back in the dream, Todo continues fighting the spirits. The child Goa asks him not to hate her for trapping them in this illusion. Just then, a massive spirit emerges, but Todo destroys it effortlessly with a single strike. He reassures the child Goa that he could never hate her. He loves her. The child smiles and asks him to tell the real Goa the same, to which Todo promises he will, again and again. Elsewhere, Anemone and Ciel fight their own dream spirits. Though both succeed, each secretly worries the others might still be trapped. Eventually, a door to freedom materializes. The child, Goa, apologizes, explaining she cannot leave with them because she exists only within the dream. Anemone refuses to abandon her, and Ciel insists they all go together. Holding on to hope, each one of them takes the child's hand and steps through the door. Morning light greets them in reality. Goa, unaware of their awakening, calmly prepares tea, expecting her companions to still be hypnotized. But when Anemone and Ciel press their blades against her back, she realizes they've escaped. Toto wakes too, confesses his love for Goa, then collapses again. Shocked but relieved, Goa demands to know how they broke free. Anemone explains that a child version of Goa appeared and helped them, and out of respect for that child, they will not kill her. Goa laughs it off, claiming even the child was part of her elaborate prank. Enraged, the girls attack her. Inside, Goa is happy because everyone escaping means they believed in her. Days later, life returns to its usual chaos. Goa greets everyone cheerfully, asking where Toto went. Ciel explains he's off weight training again. When he returns, he insists everyone eat well before heading to their C-rank promotional quest. On the road, Goa reminds them their funds are nearly gone, suggesting they take another quest for quick money. Suddenly, Anemone senses danger. A hulking beast charges at them. Toto leaps forward and ends it with one blow. Ciel barely reacts, already used to his ridiculous strength, while Toto wonders if his training gains are actually just secret magical buffs from the girls. At the guild hall, they are offered an emergency quest. Monsters are ravaging nearby fields, causing food shortages. Without hesitation, Toto accepts, determined to protect the villagers. That night, the group stays at a small inn, but again, with only one room available, Toto nobly volunteers to sleep outside. The girls agree, but promise to call him if anything happens. The next morning, they reach the devastated farmlands. Goa asks if Ciel can use magic to locate the creature responsible, but Ciel hesitates, not wanting to expose her demon powers in front of Toto. Goa solves the problem in her usual unhinged way. She hugs Toto until he faints. Then, with him unconscious, Ciel pulls out her rods, which react instantly, guiding them deep into the fields. There, they encounter not a terrifying beast, but an adorable, fluffy creature. Everyone instantly melts. Anemone questions whether Ciel's rods are broken, but Ciel insists they're correct. The cuteness doesn't last long. In a blur, the creature vanishes and attacks, its movements impossibly fast. Ciel tries to remember where she's read about such speed before. Toto chases it repeatedly but fails miserably, much to everyone's amusement. Anemone, unimpressed, claims she can move faster than him. The creature lands on her, and Toto lunges to grab it, but instead he falls on top of her juicy mangoes and faints again. Fed up, Anemone unleashes her full power, firing wildly, though she nearly blasts her teammates instead. The creature dodges effortlessly, even perching mockingly on her weapon. Ciel challenges Goa, offering the next assassination attempt as a prize for whoever captures it. Goa tries a paralyzing perfume, but the creature reflects it back, freezing her instead. Ciel casts a gravity barrier, same result. Soon the battle devolves into chaotic competition, everyone scrambling to be the first to catch the smug little menace. In the middle of the madness, Toto wakes just as the creature nearly lands on his face. He lunges again, but fails. Defeated, the team returns empty-handed. Toto, however, manages to keep one of the creature's glowing feathers as a consolation prize. Later, when they return to the village, the guild lady informs them the real culprit behind the destruction was just a wild boar that's already been caught, and their heroic efforts were completely pointless. Worse, the crops remain ruined. But just then, the feather in Toto's hand suddenly glows, radiating magic that restores the fields instantly. The villagers cheer, hailing him as a miracle worker. Toto, utterly clueless, just smiles awkwardly. That evening, the villagers host a feast in their honor. Pumpkin dishes and roasted boar everywhere. Between bites, Anemone asks what that creature really was. Ciel admits it wasn't a monster at all, but a divine beast, something beyond their understanding. Toto returns with drinks, apologizing for failing earlier. But then, quietly, he confesses something deeper. He's growing tired, unsure if he deserves to travel with them at all. Goa and Anemone quickly reassure him, and Ciel reminds him that no one is perfect, and what matters is moving forward together. The others agree, and Toto, moved by their support, promises not to slow them down anymore. Moments later, the three girls grab him at once, and unsurprisingly, he faints on the spot. They burst into laughter, deciding to settle who gets the next attempt at him with a round of rock, paper, scissors. Under the night sky, the group laughs and teases each other like a family that's seen too much chaos to fall apart now. Their dream trap, their battles, and even their ridiculous monster hunt, everything only strengthens their bond. For the first time in a long while, Toto, Seal, Anemone, and Goa are simply happy. And that is it for today. If you enjoyed the recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting recaps. Hit the notification bell to stay tuned in for more incredible adventures ahead. Until next time, take care.